Japan, a country known for its rich culture, serene landscapes, and deep-rooted sense of community, became the backdrop of one of its most shocking criminal cases in 1998. What appeared to be a community gathering turned into a devastating tragedy that sent shockwaves through the nation. This is the story of Masumi Hayashi, her husband Kenji, and the notorious curry poisoning that would forever change the small district of Wakayama. A reserved family in a quiet neighborhood. Masumi Hayashi was born on July 22, 1961. She was described as a quiet and reserved woman married to Kenji, an older man who had already been through a divorce. Together, the couple had 4 children. In the mid-1990s, the family relocated to a new neighborhood in Wakayama, a city located about 550 kilometers southwest of Tokyo. Wakayama was an area known for its lush greenery and was famous for the Matsuri festival, a lively annual event where locals gathered to enjoy food, music, and dance. Masumi and Kenji settled in a large house in the Shinobi district, an area that had undergone significant changes in the 1980s. The district, once a small farming village, had been transformed as farmers sold off their land to construction companies that built large homes for the growing number of commuters working in Wakayama City. The Hayashi's house was one of the biggest in the neighborhood, boasting a meticulously maintained garden. However, despite their apparent wealth, the Hayashi family was an enigma to the locals. They kept to themselves and never seemed to integrate into the community. Unlike other families, who socialized with their neighbors and participated in community events, the Hayashis did not encourage their children to play with other kids in the area. Masumi and Kenji often entertained friends from outside the district, but the number of local visitors was minimal. The family remained a mystery, and their lack of interaction with the rest of the community only fueled suspicions. Masumi's professional life and mysterious wealth. While the Hayashi family appeared to have financial stability, the locals were unsure of how they had acquired their wealth. Masumi worked as an insurance salesperson, while Kenji, though not employed at the time, had previously run his own termite extermination business. However, it was unclear how they could afford such a large house and a lavish lifestyle with these careers. Rumors circulated about the couple's finances, but no one was able to uncover the full extent of their wealth. The family's insular nature, combined with the mystery surrounding their finances, made them stand out in the small district of Shinobi. Though they lived a seemingly quiet life, the Hayashis were already starting to make waves in the local community in an unexpected way. The annual Matsuri festival. Like many communities in Japan, Shinobi held an annual festival known as the Matsuri. This traditional summer event brought the local residents together to celebrate through food, music, games, and other community activities. It was akin to a British summer fete, where people enjoyed spending the day together and relishing in homemade dishes and festival activities. In 1998, the Tsunabe District Matsuri was being arranged. The event had been held for several years, and the committee responsible for its organization was well prepared. The festival's chairman, Takashi Tanaka, a 64-year-old enthusiastic resident, was excited about this year's event. He was supported by his deputy, 53-year-old Tanaka, and a team of volunteers who took care of the food, music, and various other tasks. The committee sent out invitations to every household in the district, complete with food and drink coupons and a map of the festival layout. They encouraged everyone to attend and enjoy the day. The local women's association, made up of volunteers, was tasked with preparing the food, which included popular dishes such as yakitori, grilled chicken skewers, okonomiyaki, savory pancakes, tonkatsu, breaded pork, and, of course, Japanese curry, which was always a crowd favorite. Everything seemed to be in place for another successful Matsuri. However, no one knew that a tragedy was about to unfold. The tragic day, July 25, 1998, the day of the festival, Saturday, July 25, 1998, arrived with much excitement. The sun was shining, and the atmosphere was festive as people gathered to enjoy the food, music, and festivities. The curry, prepared in large pots, was an instant hit. Many people ate the dish on site, while others took some home in containers to enjoy later. The smell of the curry filled the air, and everything seemed to be going perfectly. But soon after the festival began, something went terribly wrong. Attendees started to feel ill, complaining of severe stomach pains and nausea. Within hours, the symptoms worsened. People began vomiting and suffering from violent abdominal cramps. The situation escalated quickly, and many of those affected had to be rushed to the hospital. Among those affected were some of the festival organizers, including Takashi Tanaka, the chairman of the festival committee. Tanaka was found unconscious at home, with his hand on his chest. He was later diagnosed with food poisoning, though it was clear that something more sinister was at play. By the next morning, Sunday, July 26, 1998, the situation had become a full-blown crisis. It was reported that 63 people had been hospitalized and 4 had died. The 4 victims included Tanaka, his deputy, and 2 local children, 1 girl aged 16 and 1 boy aged 10. The entire district was in shock, and the news spread rapidly across Japan. The press soon dubbed the incident the Wakayama poisonings, and the once peaceful district of Shinobi became the center of a national investigation. The investigation and discovery of arsenic poisoning. The authorities immediately launched an investigation into the incident. The first step was to examine the food consumed at the festival, especially the curry. Doctors at the hospital soon identified cyanide as the likely culprit. However, 1 week later, the medical team revised their findings, confirming that the poison used was not cyanide but powdered arsenic. This discovery shifted the case from a food poisoning incident to a potential murder investigation. The police began to delve deeper into the details of the festival and the food preparation process. As they pieced together the events, they started to uncover troubling links to the Hayashi family. It was revealed that 2 men who had frequently visited the Hayashi's home had also suffered from arsenic poisoning in the past. One of these men had even been insured by Masumi, who had allegedly collected 6 million yen in insurance benefits after his sickness. This raised suspicions about the Hayashi's involvement in a larger scheme. The insurance fraud scheme. As the investigation progressed, the police discovered that Masumi Hayashi had a history of insurance fraud. They found evidence that she had previously faked injuries to collect insurance money. In one instance, she had claimed to have been burned while cooking spaghetti at home to receive a payout, but the injury was later proven to be exaggerated. In another case, she had claimed to have fallen off a bicycle and landed on a bonfire, resulting in burns that were covered by an insurance policy. The investigators began to connect the dots and form a theory. Masumi may have poisoned the curry at the Matsuri festival as part of an elaborate insurance scam. She had taken out several insurance policies on people who were likely to attend the festival, including members of the festival committee and local children. By poisoning the curry, she could collect substantial payouts for her fraudulent insurance claims. Further evidence emerged when the police found traces of arsenic in the Hayashi's home. The arsenic was consistent with the type used in Kenji's termite extermination business. Additionally, witnesses reported seeing Masumi near the curry pots during the festival, further strengthening the case against her. The investigators also found arsenic traces on cups that had been discarded after the festival. The arrest and trial. In early October 1998, the police arrested Masumi and Kenji Hayashi. Both were charged with insurance fraud and other offenses. Masumi was specifically charged with 4 counts of murder by arsenic poisoning. The couple was widely known in the district, but as more details emerged about their involvement in the case, the community was left reeling. The people of Shinobi, once a tight-knit and peaceful community, were shaken to the core by the discovery of such a horrifying crime. The trial of Masumi Hayashi began in 1999, and it became one of Japan's most highly publicized cases. The prosecution presented evidence that the arsenic found at the Hayashi's home matched the substance used in the curry. They also produced witnesses who saw Masumi near the curry pots during the festival. The prosecution argued that Masumi had intentionally poisoned the curry in order to collect on the insurance policies she had taken out on the victims. Masumi's defense team argued that the evidence against her was purely circumstantial. They claimed that the arsenic found in her home was commonly used in Japan and could have come from other sources. They also suggested that the person seen near the curry pots might have been Masumi's daughter, not her. The defense lawyers argued that there was no clear motive for Masumi to murder innocent people, and they contended that the presence of arsenic in her hair could have been caused by steam from the poisoned curry. After a lengthy trial, Masumi Hayashi was found guilty of 4 counts of murder and sentenced to death in 2002. She continued to maintain her innocence, and her defense team appealed the decision. The case went through several rounds of appeals, and in 2005, the High Court upheld the original ruling. In 2009, after more than a decade of legal battles, the Japanese Supreme Court confirmed Masumi's death sentence, dismissing her final appeal. The case of Masumi Hayashi became infamous in Japan, not only because of the horrific nature of the crime, but also because it exposed the dark side of human greed and manipulation. Aftermath and legacy: Masumi Hayashi remains in prison to this day, maintaining her innocence despite the overwhelming evidence against her. The case has left a lasting impact on the community of shinobi and on Japan as a whole. It raised serious questions about the lengths to which people might go for financial gain and the dangers of insurance fraud. The curry poisoning case remains one of the most chilling and mysterious crimes in Japan's recent history. In the end, the story of Masumi Hayashi is a cautionary tale about the consequences of greed and deceit. It serves as a reminder that even in seemingly peaceful communities, darkness can lurk beneath the surface, and sometimes the truth is more horrifying than anyone could have imagined.